Good morning to all. I am feeling privileged to welcome all the dignitaries and I am requesting them to occupy the seats in the dais. It is honor to have Dr. R. Chidambaram, DAE Homi Baba Professor, BARC, and also the Principal Scientific Advisor to Government of India. He is accompanied by our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Rajan Vedukar, Director BCUD, Dr. Rajpal Hande, Dr. Kothari, Professor and Head, Department of Physics, and also the convener of this ICE program. I request now the system personnel to play the university song. That is indeed a great beginning. Now I request our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Rajan Velukar, to felicitate our Chief Guest, Dr. R. Chidambaram. Thank you, sir. I request our Honorable Vice Chancellor to give the opening remarks on this ICE lecture series. Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Rajan Velukar.
Good morning, everybody. Once again, I welcome all of you for this lecture series that is Enlighten Yourself every Saturday, ICE. I am happy today to welcome a great scientist of this country, a well-known scientist. The whole world knows about it, and we all are fortunate to have him amongst all of us. And I am sure all of us will get enlightened with his lectures. You may have some doubts in your mind after his lectures. I am sure this is the best opportunity to clear your doubts and get guidance from such an eminent scientist of this country. So I welcome you, sir, on behalf of myself and on behalf of University of Mumbai, all students sitting here, as well as all the students and audience, those who are listening to this program, and they are assembled online through AView at various locations for listening to your thoughts and your lectures and wisdom. So thank you very much. And I'll just, within 2 minutes, I would like to tell you about the lecture series and till this time, what has happened. The University of Mumbai has launched a program under the title of Enlighten Yourself every Saturday. And this year, we are inviting scientists from the field of science and technology. The inauguration of this lecture series has been done on 2nd of February. The inauguration has been done at the hands of Dr. R. A. Mashelkar, who spoke on making impossible possible. The second lecture was of Professor Ramaswamy, who is the Vice Chancellor of Central University, Hyderabad, who spoke on order out of chaos and chaos out of order. The third lecture was of Dr. Anil Kakodkar, who talked about the energy security and the energy need of this country. The fourth lecture was of Professor Ramamritam of Indian Institute of Science, who has used technology in agriculture and done several projects. He came and he spoke on smart electric grid. And after him, a lecture was of Dr. Sharad Kale of BARC, who spoke on Nisarg Run. Means we have to give whatever we have got from the mother nature that we have to give, and also talked on biogas. Then the next lecture was of Dr. Kavi Arya, again a professor of Indian Institute of Science, who talks about the technology for sustainable development. And we invited the chairman ISRO. However, due to pressing needs, he could not come, and he deputed Dr. Nilesh Desai, who also spoke very well on the eyes on the space of Indian scientists and Indian Space Research Organization. And after him, a very well-known teacher of information technology, Dr. Phatak, came here, and then he also delivered a lecture on without boundaries. And I am sure the students and those who have attended these lectures really enjoyed. And now today we are fortunate to have your lecture on research and innovation. And the next lecture which we are going to have is on exceptionally a different topic, but very important, and that is on science without humanity. Dr. Moolchand Sharma Vice Chancellor of Central University, is going to come and then deliver a lecture on science without humanity. And the last lecture will be delivered by Dr. Jayant Naradikar. And next year we are going to have this lecture series for other faculties like social sciences and humanities. This is what we have started, and though this is an examination time, but the audience which I see is plenty in number. I am sure next time you can invite people from non-academics also, so that they also can come here, enjoy and get knowledge out of this lecture series. So with this, once again I welcome you on behalf of myself, on behalf of my students, teachers, non-teaching staff and the University of Mumbai, and also thank you for giving us your time for this lecture series. Thank you very much.
May I now request Director to Dr. Rajpal Hande to introduce the guest.
Today's guest speaker, Dr. R. Chidambaram, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Rajan Vedukar, Dr. Kothari, Padma Bhushan, Dr. Chitre, professors, students. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce Padma Vibhushan, Dr. R. Chidambaram, is a former director of BARC and is a DAE Homi Bhabha professor at BARC. He is also the principal scientific advisor to the Government of India and chairman of the Scientific Advisory Committee to the Cabinet. He has played a key role in developing the Indian nuclear program. He started his work on neutron diffraction and crystallography in 1962. He was the first to introduce automation for data collection with neutron diffractometer. He has made important contributions to many aspects of nuclear technology with more than 200 research publications in referred journals. He played a leading role in design and execution of peaceful nuclear explosion experiment at Pokhran in 1974 and also led the DAE team which designed the nuclear devices and carried out the 5 Pokhran tests in 1998. Indian government acknowledged his contribution to the successful nuclear tests by awarding him the Padma Vibhushan, the second highest civilian honor in 1999. It's our privilege, sir, to have you here for this lecture. Dr. Chidambaram is a recipient of numerous awards and honors. Among them are C.V. Raman Birth Centenary Award of Indian Science Congress 1995, Padma Vibhushan 1999, R.D. Birla Award of the Indian Physics Association 1996, Meghna Saha Medal of INSA 2002, Homi Bhabha Lifetime Achievement Award of Indian Nuclear Society 2006, Lifetime Contribution Award 2009 from Indian National Academy of Engineering, the Jawaharlal Nehru Visiting Fellowship of INSA 1992. He is a fellow of the IIS Bangalore and NAS Allahabad, the INAE India, IOP London and TWAS Triste. In 2008, Dr. Chidambaram was named as one of the members of IAEA's Commission of Eminent Person. We welcome you, sir, for delivering your talk. Thank you very much.
So may I request Dr. R. Chidambaram to start with his session.
Dr. Rajan Vedukar, who unfortunately had to go away because exams are going on now and he has important responsibilities. Dr. Rajpal Hande, Professor D.C. Kothari, my friend Professor S.M. Chitre, Dr. Sanjay Deshmukh, and many others whom I know here. Oh, you are here. I'm sorry. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I know you are very heavily committed during the day today. Members of the faculty of the University of Mumbai, my young friends, it's indeed always a pleasure to come to the University of Mumbai. At one time, I used to be the PhD guide here for many, many years, until I decided I don't have the time to guide students. But I'm particularly happy that this new initiative Professor Kothari and his colleagues invited me for this, have taken to start this EYES lecture series. This is to bring in leading scientists, and I'm sure, as the Honorable Vice Chancellor explained, maybe people from other walks of life talking to you about important issues, important problems facing India, and how to find solutions for them. Today I thought I'll talk to you about research, innovation, and innovation ecosystem. Now these are words which mean different things to different people, particularly the word innovation. You can have innovative business concepts, innovative models for doing various things, management models. But I am talking in the context of science and technology. And that is why I thought I'll tell you what my understanding of these three terms are. Research leads to generation of new knowledge. Whether it's basic research, applied research, in which you can have pre-competitive applied research, you can have proprietary applied research. Even in basic research, you can have directed basic research or self-directed basic research. Normally people choose problems which they find interesting, work on them. But you can also work on problems which are related to technologies which are important to India. But still they are basic problems. That is, you build up the body of knowledge which somebody who's doing applied research can use later. I call that directed basic research. Of course, you must also be partners as a civilized country on fundamental problems which face the world. What is the ultimate structure of matter? What is the origin of the universe? Like the work that went on in the Large Hadron Collider recently. And so on. So research has many dimensions. When you come to innovation, in my opinion or in my definition, is adding economic value to knowledge, strategic value, or societal benefit, or a mix of them. Even knowledge generated by other countries. Japanese in the early 70s were very good at this after the Second World War. And the joke at that time was, the UK got the Nobel Prizes, Japan got wealthy. No. But today, of course, Japan does enormous amount of basic research. They have fantastic facilities for basic research. And when you talk about the ecosystem is a word which has been borrowed from biology and environmental science. And ecosystem is normally a very strongly interacting system. Gaia hypothesis, you remember at one time saying the whole world is one single system. And that is why the question of all this climate change and all came about. Which operates in the societal environment. It's not isolated, it's part of society. And the society wants national prestige. Somebody gets the Nobel Prize, they are very happy. Ashok Sen gets the Fundamental Physics Prize for his work on string theory. You are all very happy. And I'm told the value of that prize is 3 times the Nobel Prize value. Ashok Sen from the Institute of Mathematical Sciences, Allahabad, which is part of the Department of Atomic Energy. Or even Venki Ramakrishnan, because he did his MSc, man of Indian origin, got his MSc from Baroda, went to California, changed to biology, went to Cambridge, did his Nobel Prize winning work. Now the question is, who should get the Nobel Prize? Ascribed to rather, which country? Man from India, much of his work he did in the United States, United Kingdom and his bunch of students from all countries, but on the record, UK has got a Nobel Prize. So things, the way the world is now, internationalization is taking place of science, all these are. When you come to the Higgs boson discovery, this is what nature said. When for each detector you have got hundreds of scientists, in case they do give the Nobel Prize, whom will they give it to for discovery of the Higgs boson? Now it's more and more likely that it is getting confirmed. Now the ecosystem, R&I ecosystem, also has national development and national security in mind. National development and national security are two sides of the same coin. Development without security is vulnerable. Security without development is, of course, meaningless. So we want both national development and national security. And the research and innovation ecosystem that you create must cater to all this. Of course, you must also remember, and in the ecosystem, like in the biological ecosystem, knowledge flows freely. That's why you can talk of academia-industry interaction, people moving from one to the other, people moving from national labs to universities. But the ecosystem must allow free movement of human resource and, of course, of knowledge. Also internationally, international borders are getting closing. There's an article which says, today the fraction of papers written with authors from many countries is increasing very, very rapidly. And the World Economic Forum in Davos 5 years back, which I attended as a member of the faculty, the theme was collaborative innovation. Innovation, but with collaboration. So the benefits are shared. But of course, they must be shared equitably. And also these borders between scientific research, engineering, technology development and innovation, those borders are also getting more fuzzy. Where does one end and the other one begin? All this also are getting fuzzy. So in this context, you must look at what are those technologies which are important for national development. And this kind of thing is done by what is usually called a technology foresight analysis. You can ask a question, can an incoming missile, for instance, be destroyed by impact by another missile that you fire? If you ask and answer that question purely scientifically and technologically, that is technology forecasting. If you ask, will human cloning work, and ask it purely from a scientific point of view, that is technology forecasting. But if you add to this analysis factors based on your own societal requirements, economic issues which are involved, environmental issues, when you talk of human cloning, ethical issues may be involved. You put all this assessment and then say, do I want to enter the technology or not? That becomes technology foresight. Technology foresight, necessary condition is a technology forecasting. But that is not sufficient. You must add to it from your own country's point of view. What is it that is important? In choosing areas of research, and you must say, where are those areas where India can become a global leader? So foresight is equal to forecasting plus assessment. And you can do it at various levels, various resolutions. Now, if you do that and look at India, turns out strategic technologies are important for India. Atomic energy, space, defense related, advanced manufacturing, advanced materials, the so-called knowledge-based technologies. Not that others don't need knowledge, but somehow those fellows have kind of taken away that word, IT, BT, NT, or a mix of them. But also technologies related to micro, small and medium enterprises and technologies related to rural development. All these are what I call critical technologies for India's development. And if you want to develop all these technologies and also at the same time you want to be a leader in basic research, then you must have an excellent research and innovation ecosystem. What are the components of this? Obviously, talented young people. At one time I had a theorem, given a certain senior scientist in a laboratory. The output of the laboratory is directly proportional to the number and quality of graduate students. Whenever I had a good graduate student, my publication rate went up. So you need talented young people. And those who are talented, it is the responsibility of the system, of the society, and of course of the individual himself to maximize his talent for the sake of the country, for the sake of the subject. It may be music, it may be sports, it may be science. Now, in music and sports, it's easy to see gifted people. There is a difference between talented and gifted semantically. Talented are those whose innate abilities have already been converted visibly into achievements. Gifted are those where this has not yet happened. And giftedness in science and mathematics is very difficult to spot. And we have a project from my office in NIAS in Bangalore, how to identify, nurture gifted children. Gifted in science and mathematics. Maybe those things begin to show at the age of 3 to 5. And remember, there are people who are disadvantaged, not lucky like you and me. People are disadvantaged for various reasons, economically, socially, and we have to take special efforts to recognize them. And among them, there are those who are profoundly gifted, to which I have added profoundly and selectively gifted. You take Srinivasa Ramanujan mathematics is there. But many of you may not know that after the 11th standard, in the old days we used to have intermediate, it used to be called FA. He failed twice because he lost interest in all subjects except mathematics. He tried in Government Arts College, Kumbakonam, he tried in Pachapas College, Chennai. Both times he failed. Today I want to ask Professor Hande, if there is a Ramanujan here, which entrance exam will he pass? This is the question. So we are also trying to see how to take such profoundly but selectively gifted people and create a separate. Of course, there are those who are many examples. C.V. Raman was one such example. He would pass any exam, but then also physics he was so gifted. High quality faculty, including in schools. We had a PISA test recently, 2011. First time India entered. They fielded Himachal Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. And out of 75 countries which participated, India came last but one. Kyrgyzstan was the only thing below us. And they were testing you. They were testing in reading, scientific literacy, mathematical sciences. Of course, the defense mechanism went up and said, no, those questions are not culturally. But then 75 countries it is there. The question then is, and do you know who came first? Finland. Finland and some of those Scandinavian countries came first. The reason is they respect their school teachers. Finland respects the school teachers, and it is one of the highest paid professions. But in our value system, among the careers we recommend to our children, where is school teaching? Something we have to ask ourselves very, very seriously. We can talk about other things like creativity. Creativity cannot be suppressed, in my opinion, because it cannot be destroyed. It can be temporarily suppressed, but then it comes back. But right from the early age, those who are gifted, if you are able to allow them to grow to their full potential, you need to have excellent, high-quality school teachers. Of course, you must have adequate funds. You must have strong infrastructure. You must have a good e-infrastructure. I was told that you are relaying this lecture to many other colleges using electronic connectivity. I'll talk to you a little later about the National Knowledge Network, which we are setting up, which is a high-speed optical fiber, multi-gigabit per second network. You must have an appetite for risk-taking. If you want to play safe in research, you will do third-rate research. If you want to do first-rate research, you have to choose important problems, as Peter Medawar said, but they are risky problems. You may get an answer, you may not get an answer. But then it never goes fully waste. If you don't solve that problem, you have laid the foundation for many other problems. You must have that appetite for risk-taking. Also, the system must allow you to take risks. You know, they spent $4 billion, I'll show in the next slide, one of the next slides, looking for the Higgs boson. $4 billion, out of which we contributed $40 billion worth of equipment. Suppose they had not found the Higgs boson, I think the auditors will have given quite a bit of trouble, certainly in some countries. Spent $4 billion, where is the Higgs boson? Leaders, finally you must have leaders. And of course, if you want to become a developed country in the fullest sense of the term, you must have applied research and manufacturing capability, manufacturing base, but you must also have a very strong basic research infrastructure. You can't build a superstructure without a foundation. Basic research gives you the foundation. It may not give you immediate results, but even to train the applied research